the New Orleans principal, a New Orleans principal, turns out to be an actual literal Nazi. Nicholas Dean, president of Crescent Leadership Academy, was in attendance at a rally on May 7th. There's Nicholas. You can see him. He's a principal at a charter school in New Orleans, because that's all they have in New Orleans are charter schools. And he is a principal at a high-risk school, dropout prevention school. And these are students who are below grade level. They are at risk. He is a principal, and he's been there for some years. He's been there so long that there was actually an NPR feature on his work. We'll get to the Nazi portion first, but I want you to see how the rest of America and his community got introduced to this principal, Nicholas Dean, via NPR. Here's a segment.
Principal Dean is the first to concede that CLA and its students still have a long way to go.
When they arrive here now, they're on a road where they need to make a change for whatever the behavior was. And many students will blame others for their issue or minimize the issue, mislabel it. And our task and job is to be able to not tell them, not preach at them, not bark at them, not say you should do this, but to ask questions in a way that allow for them to have aha, self-actualized moments.
All right, so that was him on NPR. You know how NPR does these beautiful features of people and stories. You get somebody out of a poor community and someone doing a good job, like the movie Lean on Me. This is how America was introduced to Nicholas Dean. Just this past month, you remember where what's the guy named Richard Spencer, the Nazi, everybody's favorite Nazi, America's in love with this guy, led a rally in front of the Robert E. Lee Memorial in New Orleans to protest the city taking down the monument. And there is the principal. Now, his excuse for being there is fabulous, right? It sounds really good. He said that that he was there not to be on either side. He said, quote, I wasn't there to protest for either side. I went there because I'm a historian, an educator. And he said, I wanted people who know me know that I'm a crusader for children, and I fight tirelessly on their behalf. And now you're looking at a video that surfaced shortly thereafter that shows that, well, maybe he wasn't really there just to be a historian. But if you look at his fingers, he has two rings on. Two rings, one depicting the Nazi SS skull and the other one depicting a German Iron Cross, both which are symbols of the Nazi Party. So he's been chased out of the school. He's been removed. According to the parents, they said that the parents, which have a committee and a board that kind of oversees the school, they said, quote, he will not return as principal or be associated with Crescent Leadership Academy. And this is, again, according to school parent group. They said in a statement on Today. There he is. I mean, so he's introduced to America. Pull up the picture of him looking all nice in front of the students, looking like a gentleman. There he is. There's Nicholas Dean, principal in action, helping all these poor black kids. That's good. Take his ass off. Helping out all these poor black kids. And, you know, in fairness to him, not that I have to be, and it probably won't be past this one sentence, some of the students had great things to say about him. But I wonder if you interview them now, if people would think about how he really treated them, or how he really saw them. I think everybody should have a problem with the fact that there was a literal Nazi teaching and responsible, not teaching, but leading a school for the most underprivileged students in the entire city of New Orleans. And the fact that he was able to cover this up, he would not have been exposed if not for this picture. Prior to this picture that you see behind me, prior to this picture, no one knew exactly his nightlife. And in the daytime, he was good old Principal Dean. By night, he was this crusader, and it wasn't, except for this picture, he would still be there as principal of this school. The video clip that we showed you actually didn't have much in way of substance. He was talking about having a conversation about how he spoke with several journalists, and none of the journalists had a good grounding in historical facts from his perspective. It really didn't have much. What stood out in the video that we saw were all of the symbols on his body, and the fact that he denied it just a few days ago. He said, "I'm not, you know, I wasn't there for either side of the conversation. I was there to document history." And here he is, clearly a full-fledged member of whatever organization they consider themselves to be, whatever their official name is. But we know them as Nazis.